Welcome, 8th graders, to today's Explainer. We're setting the stage for an absolute mind-bender of an investigation into what I like to call the invisible balancing act of the universe. Have you ever watched a log burn down to a tiny little pile of ash, or maybe seen a puddle evaporate on a hot day, and thought, where on earth did all that stuff go? Today, we are diving right into the fascinating world of physical science to uncover the hidden truth about matter. We're going to become scientific detectives, setting up our very own closed system lab to prove a massive fundamental rule of nature. So get your mental lab coats ready, because this is going to be a fantastic journey.
So think about this. When a chemical reaction happens, does stuff just disappear? Imagine dropping a fizzy antacid tablet right into a glass of water. It bubbles, it hisses, and after a few minutes, poof, the tablet is completely gone. To our eyes, it really looks like a magic trick, right? It literally looks like the matter has vanished from existence. But does the universe really just delete things? Or is there this invisible game of hide and seek happening right in front of us? Let's kick things off with Section 1, the missing mass mystery. This brings us to the absolute big idea of the day, the law of conservation of mass. This is the law proving that mass is neither created nor destroyed during a chemical reaction. And man, think about how profound that actually is. The atoms that make up our entire world are basically the ultimate recycling program. When a chemical reaction goes down, atoms are really just rearranging themselves into new partners. It's like dancers swapping partners on a crowded dance floor. None of the dancers actually leave the room. They just look a bit different together. By carefully measuring the reactants, the stuff we start with, and the products, the stuff we end up with, we can prove that absolutely nothing is ever truly lost. Now, this beautifully illustrates exactly why our eyes can sometimes deceive us. Let's compare an open beaker to a sealed bag. If you do a reaction that creates a gas in an open beaker, well, that gas just floats right away into the room. If you happen to put that beaker on a scale, the numbers are going to go down as the gas escapes. It completely looks like mass was destroyed. But actually, it wasn't. It just flew away. Now contrast that with a sealed zip-top bag. If you do the exact same reaction inside a completely sealed bag, the gas is trapped. Nothing gets out. And if you weigh that sealed bag, the mass stays exactly the same from start to finish. This sealed bag is what we call a closed system. And honestly, it is the ultimate lie detector test for chemistry.
Moving right along to Section 2, setting up the lab.
Okay, before we mix a single chemical, the HeroesmartAcademy curriculum introduces a really crucial mindset, using a quote from Proverbs 22:3, "The prudent see danger and take refuge." Now, you might be wondering what a biblical proverb is doing in a chemistry lab explainer. Well, the curriculum points out that prudence simply means acting with thought for the future. A good scientist wears safety goggles, right? They think about the pressure building up in a closed system before it happens. Prudence, according to the source material, is the foundation of brilliant and safe science.
So here's your game plan for the experiment. Step 1, you're going to prepare to mix baking soda and vinegar right inside a zip-top bag. But here is the critical move for Step 2. You absolutely must seal that bag completely before the reaction really gets going. You cannot let even a tiny bit of that invisible gas sneak out. Finally, Step 3, you'll measure the mass on a digital scale before the reaction and then again after the bag gets all puffed up. When you see that those numbers match perfectly, boom, you will have just proven a fundamental law of the universe. Trapping the reaction is literally the only way to catch the universe in the act of conserving mass.
Now, if you want to visualize another highly effective way to pull this off, let's look at the soda bottle and balloon method. Imagine taking a regular plastic soda bottle, dropping your vinegar in the bottom, and then scooping your baking soda inside a deflated balloon. You stretch that balloon right over the mouth of the bottle. At this point, your system is completely closed. Then, you just tip the balloon up so the baking soda falls down into the vinegar. Whoosh! The reaction happens, gas is created, and the balloon inflates. The gas is trying its absolute hardest to escape, but it's totally caught in the balloon. If that whole setup is sitting on a scale, the mass will remain perfectly constant. It's just a beautiful, elegant closed system.
Next up, Section 3, open versus closed systems.
Just to make sure you've truly mastered this concept, the curriculum gives us a great visual checklist to review for your homework. First, why use a closed system in the first place? Second, what's the expected mass in a closed system? Third, why do open systems seem to change mass? Fourth, can you name a closed system example? And fifth, how exactly does this lab support the law? If you can confidently tackle these 5 points and explain how they back up the law, well, you aren't just memorizing facts anymore. You are thinking exactly like a high-level chemist.
And that brings us to our final part, Section 4, science, morality, and peace.
The Godly Learners curriculum draws a really fascinating parallel here. Just as the conservation of mass proves that atoms are never actually destroyed, the series offers this biblical morality tip. Nothing is truly lost in God's creation. It just changes form to serve a purpose. The curriculum suggests taking this idea and applying it straight to your own life. Think about your time studying, your energy, or even your mistakes. Just like matter transforms, the idea presented here is that your actions aren't wasted. Instead, they can be used to transform situations for the good. It's all about taking raw materials and turning them into something with true purpose. Which naturally brings us to a core philosophy from the Heroes Smart Academy Godly Learners series. Education without morality will hurt. The curriculum asks a pretty tough question here. What is the point of knowing all the laws of physics if you use that education to cause harm? According to the series, knowledge is power, much like a chemical reaction is power, but without the sealed bag of morality to guide and contain it, that power can actually be destructive. It argues that a true, complete education combines a brilliant mind with a strong moral heart. To tie all of this together, the source text points us over to Romans 8:6-7, which offers a promise of peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. The lesson the curriculum emphasizes here is that when you engage with your education morally, whether you're studying baking soda and vinegar or world history, you find a real sense of alignment. The teaching suggests that this alignment between science and spirit isn't just about gathering a bunch of random facts. It's really about understanding your purposeful place within the universe. It frames this as the ultimate balanced equation for finding lasting peace. So, the curriculum leaves us with one final, incredibly provocative challenge. Think back to the atoms in your lab that will never be destroyed but will only transform. Now, think about your own potential. How will you use your education to create peace rather than waste it? How will you make absolutely sure that your knowledge acts as a force for good in the world? Take this perspective, head into your lab, and go see how you can transform your world. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and we will see you next time.